Hello there. Welcome back to Going Rogue, weekly Star Wars show. We haven't had this person on a hot minute.
How? I'm so embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed for you.
Well, we might as well reveal him now. Ben Goddard, welcome back to the show.
What's up, guys? Yeah, you did the Rogue One episode without me. You did Last Jedi without me. But you got me here for the warm and feely one, so I'm very happy about that.
Yes.
Yeah. Lots of train of thought. Yeah, so usually we go over Star Wars news. We go over
Keep that
reviewing
in.
stuff. Yeah, I will probably keep it in. But there's not a lot of big Star Wars stuff happening because like the big announcements
At
happen.
the moment,
there's nothing big. I mean, there's the Alphabet Squadron sequel book of what is it called? Shadowfall came out this past week. I haven't started listening to it yet, so I'll get my thoughts on it later. I think there are action figures dropping on Monday or something like that, but can't talk about those until really. But
did you watch the gameplay of Star Wars Squadron?
Ooh,
the gameplay trailer.
Yeah, because that dropped. I think it dropped right after we recorded our last episode.
Okay.
And I was like, because like the minute I got out to the living room, I'm like, great. We should have talked about this because
Christmas.
It looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie.
It does look really, really good.
It looks so
like
good.
I'm such a fan of Rogue Squadron from N64.
Oh yeah.
And because of that game, like my go-to fighter is the Naboo Starfighter, because they made that thing so OP in the game. It's like as fast as an A-wing, as powerful as an X-wing. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
So that's always my go-to because of Rogue Squadron.
Do they in these games? Do they make it true to whatever canon? Like
yes.
This ship is better than this ship. And specs
Yeah,
on
because
this.
different ships have different purposes, and they explain that in the gameplay trailer videos.
And it's true to
canon
in the game.
Because the A-wings are the interceptors that go in flying fast. The
that's cool.
Y-wings are the bombers that are heavy-duty workhorses that take out big capital ships. The X-wings is the balanced fighter that's like the workhorse of the rebellion and everything. U-wing.
Can I fly the Cobalt Hammer and just chug along?
No, don't give away secret names. What are you doing? I'm in the middle of a competition here.
Bad.
Don't give away names. What are you doing?
I was gonna say, like, you don't have to name whatever fighter was in the Last Jedi at the beginning, but were you kind of thrown off that it wasn't a Y-wing, like, because we've never seen those bombers before, and it was very World War II-esque. Like actually dropping like physical bombs, not like proton bombs or whatever they have.
It's that little thing of Star Wars of I want a new ship, and it's a new ship. So I was excited to see that.
Toy.
But new toys, like just new possibilities for Star Wars, new things in Star Wars, and I was like, oh, where's the Y-wings? I would love to see Y-wings, but they brought them back for Rise of Skywalker, so I was happy about that. But yeah, this gameplay looks really cool. I think what I'm excited for is customizing your ship. Because yes, and no microtransactions.
That's gonna be the thing. Is like, especially with hopefully I liked what Alex Damon said about it. Like how he hopes there's like at least like an 8-hour campaign. Nothing crazy, nothing like I'm in the middle playing The Last of Us and it's like over 20 hours or something like that. It's crazy, but just something that you can like sink your teeth into. That you get if you play for Wedge for one mission, or you play with Luke, he gets back in the cockpit for a mission, or you're your own starfighter and you fly alongside them or something.
That'd be really
and
cool.
then in the multiplayer, that's when you like get all the upgrades and customizations and paint jobs and
cool.
stuff like that.
That's what I'm really excited for, especially because if my friends get it, or if you get it, we can jump on together and like, all right, squad up, let's go.
Cute.
It's gonna be it'd be a lot of fun to do. So yeah, I mean the gameplay looks promising. Hopefully EA will deliver, because I got excited for Battlefront 2. It's like, oh yeah, story mode, awesome. And then once you get done with story mode, it's like, oh, it's the same story as the first Battlefront, microtransactions, and
it's always, you always got to hold your breath with EA. You always got to, like, even with Battlefront 2, how much they improved it didn't start out like that. Like they quickly backtracked, so at least they listen. But it shouldn't have to trend on Twitter in the most negative way possible for them to come out with the game the right way.
So the Squadron is looking promising, and it comes out really quick. I thought it would come out next year. It comes out in November.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
No, either it's in August.
Sometime in the fall.
I think it's August that it comes out.
Oh.
I'll look at
we can double check that, but I think it comes out really soon. So I was like, woo, I don't have to wait that long. So you get that game, then you get Mandalorian coming out, I believe, in the same time span. So
Oh, we get it this year?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we get Mandalorian this year.
I'll take it.
Yeah, season 2.
Oof.
Are you guys excited? How do you guys feeling about that?
I'm
I know there's no
excited.
news on it, but
I'm
we haven't
excited
talked
for it.
much about Mandalorian since it ended.
I'm excited for it.
I want to rewatch it
Mhm.
before season 2 comes out because I'm sure I forgot a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. And I
like
need
Game of Thrones syndrome. Well, that had a lot more to forget.
Yeah, and I need to do my audio commentaries on those for patrons.
Nice.
So we'll those are gonna be a lot longer than my Clone Wars ones because
Yeah.
longer episodes.
Well, we gotta rewatch them because I want to go into it like, I'm locked and loaded.
Yeah, but we'll get into that. But anyways,
October 2nd for Rogue Squadron or Squadron. I'm
Squadron.
always gonna call it Rogue
It's
Squadron.
October.
October 2nd.
Oh wow. Okay. So
So you literally went November and August, so right there in the middle.
Right in the middle.
right there in the middle. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I know you probably won't. You probably want to see me play it first.
I
and then-
mean, yeah, I'm not one to just buy a game because I might like it. Like, nah, I like to spend my money.
Have fun babysitting, loser.
Well, I deserve that.
Me and Andrew are gonna be gaming, bro.
jump on your Twitch. Let's go.
No chicks, just gaming.
Yeah, I walked right into that one.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the only real big news. We haven't gotten anything juicy lately, but
Not
who knows
really.
next week. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the main topic of tonight.
Oh, yeah.
We revisited Rogue One. We revisited Last Jedi.
Yeah.
So I do like this revisiting movies because it like forces you to look at it a different way. Maybe things changed. Maybe things have stayed the same. But today, this episode, we're revisiting The Force Awakens. And both of you have been on record of saying you love The Force Awakens.
Yes.
And I'm on the same boat. I absolutely love The Force Awakens. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie. It's your favorite Star Wars movie.
Yes.
Ben, I think you said that it was...
Get it.
Nice.
Ben's only good line in the entire trilogy.
As for
Yeah,
our auto listeners,
probably
he was holding up the Legacy lightsaber, the Skywalker lightsaber. But Ben, you would say that's like it's got to be at least top 3.
It's top 4. Like
Top 3, yeah.
I always say, it's Empire,
Mm-hmm.
Last Jedi, Force Awakens, or Return of the Jedi battling for number 1.
Mhm.
Depending on my mood or like day of the week. So it's there.
Mhm.
And we were talking on SEN. I was like, how would you introduce people to Star Wars? Chronologically,
Mhm.
release date, by canon. And most of us are saying New Hope, then go back and revisit the prequel trilogy.
Mhm.
Because if you do prequels first, like I Am Your Father, duh.
It doesn't pop.
But RB3 came out and said, and I was thinking about it. He said, I introduced them with Force Awakens,
Mhm.
and maybe like canon wise, there, Chewie We're Home might not hit as hard,
Mhm.
but you can't deny how just welcoming that movie is to just general audiences. And I don't mean that like in a derogatory term,
Mhm.
but this movie is just so much fun. It's got the emotion. People that say these are not characters, I truly don't understand it. Like,
Mhm.
people have their opinions about everything, but when they were just like, oh, Mary Sue,
Yeah.
blah, 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 it's like,
Whatever.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop.
Just stop.
Yeah. I mean,
You're my guest.
you had to say it at least once on the show.
I had to be the first one.
you had to
We'll
one.
get to that scene. We'll
We'll get
there.
there. We'll get there. But yeah, like I mean, I've said it before. I'll never, ever again. I'm pretty sure, like, just close this door. Never gonna have experience with any movie ever, like I did with Force Awakens. Just because the waiting in line, the hype leading up to the thing, going with a big group of friends, looking for every little piece I can get to know of this movie before I get to see it, and just. I actually audibly yelled Star Wars as I went into the theaters. I mean, I scared one of my friends. Like, was that you? It's like, yep, that was me.
It was.
I was so excited for this movie, so I will never have an experience like this, and that actually feeds into why I love this movie so much is because of that excitement. And I know you're on record saying that it's your favorite Star Wars movie. It's the one that really grabbed you and brought you into Star Wars.
And I agree with RB3. I think that depending on who's asking, I think that would be a great movie to introduce somebody into the universe with. I don't know. Like I would hesitate, depending on the person. I'd hesitate introducing somebody with A New Hope, or what is happening here?
Your hair. Sorry.
I got like a random rogue hair.
A Rogue One
Rogue
hair?
One strand. But I would, I'd be afraid.
Boo to all that interaction.
But with, A New Hope, I don't know, depending on who you're introducing, if you're talking about a younger kid or whatever, they're going to be like, this is boring. Depends on the kid.
Depends on the kid, yeah.
But I feel like Force Awakens would really rope somebody in, especially somebody, maybe especially a young girl, especially somebody who's, I don't know. I don't want to say it's just, going to rope kids in because, I don't know. I just think it's modern enough. It's exciting enough. One of the things that I hate about when The Force Awakens came out, and I don't know if I'm jumping too far ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure you know
go
where
ahead.
I'm
We're
going.
We're gonna jump all over. So go ahead. If you have a topic, this is what the show is. It's very loose. So if something comes up,
it just bothers me when people are like, "Oh, I hate The Force Awakens. It's just A New Hope all over again." Is that what people say?
Yeah, it's basically a carbon copy of A New Hope.
It's the Death Star all over again. Same plot all over again. They're just visiting the same tropes, same everything. Carbon copy of the same movie. And I will defend J.J. Abrams until the day I die.
Because I think in one of the things you said you always have issues. People said it was too safe.
Yes,
yeah.
And J.J. Abrams had to be safe because look at the daunting task that was given to J.J. Abrams. It's been how many years since Revenge of the Sith came out? You got that much of a gap, and this huge of a movie dynasty that now you're expected to revive. And you now have to cater to old fans, diehard old fans, not chronologically old, but
Yeah, lifelong fans, people.
Longtime fans.
Yeah.
You got to cater to hardcore longtime fans. You got to cater to casual fans, such as maybe myself. You got to cater to brand new people that maybe haven't seen a single Star Wars.
General audience, yeah.
AKA Brandy, like last week.
Yeah, jeez, that was insane.
Yeah, she's been going a little ham. But yeah, you've got all these different groups that you have to somehow appeal to. You have to play it safe. You have to have nostalgia for those hardcore people. You have to play to the canon as much as you can to make it accurate enough for them to enjoy it. You got to play it safe because you don't... If he went out of left field and went on some weird, not normal path, canon junkies and people that have been longtime fans, they'd be like, "This is not my Star Wars. What is this?"
No, wait, that's an argument.
Wait,
we hear all the time.
I'll push back. No one would ever say that, and the next movie definitely no one's ever said that. So I don't know where you're coming out with this crazy theory that people wouldn't like it if you did anything different with Star Wars, Nikki.
Exactly.
But you're way out of line, and
I know.
I'm taking full offense right now.
Yeah,
I'm so glad for the pushback. I'm glad for the healthy argument.
Can you imagine if Force Awakens came out and it was a lot like Last Jedi, the way that it sort of made left turns and
that was the first reintroduction?
That was the first reintroduction.
Oh my God, people would have crapped all over their pants.
Yeah.
Because you had to have a safe introduction. They would have, it.
They would have taken their pants off and then crapped on them, not in them, on them.
Exactly, yeah. They would have. It would have been everywhere.
I am mad, but give me 1 second.
Let me show you how I feel.
I will not hide my crap. It's going to be on the outside of my pants, and you're going to know how mad I am.
Take that, JJ. But yeah, you had to be safe to reintroduce it. You could not go out of left field for a reintroduction to this kind of a franchise. You had to play it safe. You had to rope. It had to be safe enough to rope in new people for them to be like, okay, let me find my footing in this universe.
Yeah, and I think it did a really good job because especially people like you and this is a really good movie. I understand why you love it so much. Or why you love the franchise so much. Yeah. So I think it did a really good job. And to that point of it's almost a carbon copy of A New Hope. It's like I can understand that argument, but that's broad strokes you're going with. Broad strokes. It's like the MacGuffin is this thing that everybody's after. There's no arguing the Starkiller base is another Death Star. I get it, but the further you dive deeper into the plot and the characters, it starts to turn away from that because it's like, oh yeah, you remember when Luke Skywalker totally beat the crap out of Darth Vader in A New Hope? You remember that? Oh wait, no, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. It's just like small details like that I think people that have that argument don't seem to not ignore, but seem to forget. So I get their argument of it's a carbon copy of A New Hope. I get that, but look deeper into the story, look deeper into the characters, and I think that's what really hooked me with this movie was the characters.
Yeah.
Within the first 8 minutes of Finn and Poe getting introduced to each other, I was like, yep, I'm on board with these two. I totally get what their dynamic is. I totally get their friendship. I'm on board with that. And the introduction of Rey is amazing. No words spoken within the first 5 minutes of her being on screen.
Yeah.
And you get exactly what her character is going through.
And then I know that you like that her first line isn't even.
It's not in basic. Her first line is in an alien language.
Yeah.
And it's just like because from the start when you first meet, it's like, all right, so she's a scavenger. She's ticking away on time. She's obviously waiting for something. So you get everything. You get her daily routine in the first 5 minutes of you being introduced to this character. And I love the introduction of Rey. Ben, you've been silent for the past.
No. I love and
Rey.
Rey's obviously Rey's probably my favorite Star Wars character. Maybe day of the week it's her Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And just like you see her struggling day to day, a quarter portion. That's all she ate for that entire day was this instant bread or whatever it was. But then the first opportunity she's ever gotten to finally get ahead. How many does she get? 60 portions?
Yeah.
And she doesn't do it because she's that good. She's still that good of a person. So without this over exposition or this big speech of no, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I have my morals. It's just this split decision she made. She's she just knows it's wrong. And also, let's talk about BB-8.
Oh,
Possibly better than R2-D2, cuteness wise.
Cute. Okay. All right. I'll follow you there.
I'll take as a mode of comedic relief. I say
and cuteness wise.
Yeah, and cuteness wise.
He's very cute.
Yeah.
He's very cute. He doesn't get as much to do as R2-D2 does in his trilogy, or in the prequel trilogy, because obviously every time a droid fixes a ship, it gets presented in front of a queen. It says, "Hey, this droid did its job. Let's give it a pat on the back, but you can't go in a bar. Get out of here."
We don't serve your
kind.
Let's
not go down that rabbit hole of droid mistreatment in Star Wars because it's not great.
Yeah, no,
but no, just everything about this movie to me sings, and we can get to Kylo and Snoke whenever you guys want.
Yeah.
But I love everything about the first 20 minutes of this film, and also. Speaking of introductions, we can talk about Kylo Ren right now.
Yeah.
There is no better introduction, maybe I don't want to say in film history, but him stopping a laser bolt
so cool.
in the middle of the air with the Force.
That's so good.
That's one of my favorite moments.
Seen up until that moment, had we ever seen a better use of the Force on film?
I don't think so. I mean, Vader blocked laser bolts, but he didn't stop them.
That
mid-air.
was probably one of my favorite moments of all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
That moment of him stopping that bolt. Oh my god!
I remember audibly going, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
that was
it's
cool.
Not even. He stops it,
and
but
it
then
stays there.
The entire time he's talking with Poe, it still stopped.
Yep.
And someone even kind of walks around it I don't know what's gonna happen. So it's such a good introduction because we don't know this character, we don't know who this is, but immediately you know how powerful he is. You know that he's got, and it's shown that yes, he's he's basically like a high school kid. He's got this raw talent, but he has no control over it.
Yeah.
And so you get to see that through the movie, and I love that. I love that about his character because people that compare it to A New Hope, it's did we learn anything about Darth Vader
Not
in A
really.
New Hope?
He's just
literally nothing.
Yeah.
You learn so much about Kylo Ren and about Rey, and a little bit about Finn because God, poor Finn.
Poor Finn.
Poor Finn.
Yeah,
poor
he
Finn.
really.
But let's stay on Kylo Ren for that moment, because I've when you compare the two. The sequel trilogy, or especially just this movie, compare it to say Attack the Clones or the Skywalker. He's a Skywalker. You learn it by the end of this movie. He's literally a Skywalker. This is when I first saw this movie, I was like, this is the version of Anakin that I kind of wanted to see. Just this raw,
angsty kind of.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He's got a hair trigger.
Yeah.
Anything can set him off, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like you said, Ben, you learn so much about him in the span of this movie, So like you go from knowing nothing to like, oh, he has this history of his uncle, and like you get hints like, oh, somebody betrayed Luke. Is it Ben? And you know what I mean? So it's I really liked the introduction of Kylo. I liked like how he was treated. Of like he's basically puffing his chest out the whole movie, and then the mask comes off, and it's like, oh, okay, this isn't what I expected.
It's a
and
Pantene commercial.
yeah, exactly. And people always have like the argument. It's like, oh, leave the mask on. He's so much more menacing with the mask on. And like they're like, oh, he looks so he's less intimidating with the mask off. When you listen to the audio commentary of The Force Awakens, that was the point. That was the complete point that JJ was like, yeah, you right in that moment, Rey's expecting this mangled monster, this person that like you actually fear.
Like you're expecting Darth Vader.
Yeah, but he takes the mask off, and it's like she almost like, oh, he's almost like a prince.
Oh, he's kind of cute though.
He's very good looking. He has no scars on his face at this point, and he's just like, oh, this is totally one I'm not expecting, and that was the whole point of him taking his mask off.
Yeah, that's such a funny thing that people are like, well, he's more intimidating with a mask, like. Duh.
Yeah, duh.
That's why he has it on.
Yeah.
Because he's a Darth Vader fanboy. That's literally who he is.
Exactly.
Like he's just like he doesn't know anything. He's just like he's a guy that's reading YouTube comments type of thing. He's just like, oh, like yeah, okay, I'm gonna do that too. And then when the first moment of like struggle in his life, like he completely falls apart and he can't control his emotions. He like. I have so many favorite moments, but just like after in the forest when he's literally hitting his laser bolt wound because he can't stay angry because he's so conflicted about what he just did. He's just trying to feel some kind of pain so he can fight because he's like, no, I made this decision. I have to live with it. So now I have to feed into the dark side and do like, just, and it's like, it's not even a, I feel like in a lesser movie or something, it'd be like, why are you hitting your side? I need to feel pain. Like, so it's like
spell it
they
out.
would explain it, but I don't know if that was planned or if that was like an Adam Driver improv or something. But just like he just does it twice. Especially, I love it because he's toying with Finn the entire fight.
Yeah.
And so just like him like turning his back on him, going like pop 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 pop, like giving it like. It's basically like in Mortal Kombat when you get like a life up and then like, okay, I'm ready to fight again.
So while we're on the topic of Finn, we have a question from a squadron captain now, because we eliminated the commander tier. From Ferris Mathana, squadron captain, what were your original thoughts on Finn? Did you want him to be force sensitive or something else? So basically, when this movie first came out, it was always like hinted that like, oh, maybe Finn is our force sensitive character because in the trailer you see him with the lightsaber and you don't really
he's on the poster with the lightsaber.
Yeah, he's on the poster with the lightsaber. It's like, oh yeah, so this is our new Jedi. This is our new person that's taking the mantle of the force user. But then I'm pretty sure this is your favorite scene, the interrogation scene.
You're my guess.
Yeah, that scene.
Take a shot.
That scene is where it flips on you. He's like, okay, no. Rey is the one that's force sensitive.
I love that moment.
We'll get into that, but like, what were your thoughts on Finn? Like, did you want him to be force sensitive? Did you want to see him be that person? And when you did get introduced to him, what were your thoughts on him?
So we saw Finn on the poster with a lightsaber. Did we
we saw him in the trailer with a lightsaber too.
Right, in the forest. Did we not see Rey with one?
No.
We didn't see Rey with one until the movie?
Rey doesn't touch the lightsaber outside of maybe Maz's cantina until she force grabs it. Yeah. That's literally her first time holding it.
And we didn't see that in any trailer or any
promotional
stuff.
No. That was the big thing.
We'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll definitely get to that.
Wow, I don't remember that. Man.
You sweet summer child.
Wow, it's like what was it, 2015 all over again or whatever this movie came out.
God, I wish.
Yeah, couldn't we go back? But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know because I thought that we knew that Rey was going to be the person, but I thought it would have been cool to see him be force sensitive because I do remember seeing him with a lightsaber.
Yeah,
and I never really, after The Force Awakens, I know we're not talking about Rise of Skywalker, but I just never realized how force sensitive he was and how cool it was, and it's disappointing and how underutilized it was.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed Finn. When he was first introduced and you saw that he was also conflicted and I'm not going to fire on these people, you know, this is messed up and taken from my family. I don't even know my own name. I don't have a name to even know. You know, it makes you feel, I feel like it's just an accelerated connection to him because you're just like, dude, I feel bad for this guy.
Yeah.
And then when he helps Poe break out, I love Finn. I just wish he had more to do.
Yeah. And can I say that there's like basically no scene in this movie where Finn isn't sweating?
Oh my God, he's so sweaty in this movie.
He's so sweaty.
He's sweating
So
all the
sweaty.
time.
He's like in a Michael Bay movie while everyone else is in like a J.J. Abrams movie. It's pretty great.
I mean, our boy's hydrated. Like, he is so sweaty. But you know what? We always joke, like, I mean, you can't really do it with the sweat, but we always joke, like, how about we watch The Force Awakens or The Rise of Skywalker, and every time that Finn yells Rey, we'll take a shot.
Take a shot? Oh my gosh, take a drink and you'll be messed up, let alone take a shot.
He yells it a lot in The Rise of Skywalker.
He does.
Like in a span of like 3 seconds, he says it like 5 times.
Yeah, he'd be pretty messed up. Maybe just make it a joke.
That's a 5-pointer right there. How many times does Finn yell Rey in the sequel trilogy?
Is that the real answer, though? And what scene am I talking about?
I know what scene you're talking about, I think.
But anyways.
I don't know. We'll never know, I guess.
Ben, what were your thoughts on Finn when you first got introduced to him?
I loved Finn, and I like it. It really is the biggest disappointment of the whole series that we didn't really get to know anything about him.
Yeah.
And I said that Kylo was toying with him, but like he did hold his own enough to be like maybe there's might be like a Chirrut type of force sensitivity in there, some kind of like he may not be able to use the force, but it channels through him or something. And him and Phasma just like, I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. Like, John Boyega is he's so effortlessly charming that you like him. You really do. And it's not his fault that like his character was just so wasted, just shouting Rey. Yeah. And I liked some of his stuff in Last Jedi. Like the bare bones were there. Yeah. Of like before like he's not in like he's not in the Resistance. He doesn't want to be a part of it. He's coming back for Rey. Yeah. He doesn't care about Starkiller Base or other planets being destroyed. He's there to get Rey. And then in The Last Jedi, he truly becomes part of the Resistance. And then I wish we would have gotten the finale of what he finally became in Rise of Skywalker, but we didn't. But no, I really did. In this movie, I really do like Finn and the potential of his character. I love him and Oscar Isaac. I love that off camera they were both like, yeah, we can definitely be gay for each other and we want to be. Yeah. And Oscar Isaac like was all about it. John Boyega, I'm pretty sure, was all about it. And I wish that would have happened. As much as I love the hug in Last Jedi between them and the hug in this movie, there is so much chemistry between him and Daisy Ridley. It's insane. You can cut that shit with a knife.
Oh yeah.
But I love I would have loved either or maybe they're just it's a polyamorous relationship. Exactly. Make it happen, baby. Yeah.
Hey man, it's 2020. Anything can happen right now. So let's remake it and we'll make it a pilot.
Yes. I'm all for it.
Yeah, but I think the things I enjoy most about Finn is he's so incredibly charming. And the comedic moments with him and Rey are just so good. Like, there's a point in the movie where they're fixing the Falcon. And she's like, "No, the one I'm pointing to."
Yes.
I love the what? This one? No, this one. You got a boyfriend? Cute boyfriend?
That goes back to BB-8, where he's fixing the Falcon and he gives him the thumbs up. Yeah. The BB-8 thumbs up is one of the best things in the movie, and it's such a tiny moment. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it's just again there's J.J. Abrams with Finn just gave Rian Johnson this softballs, all right, here you go, buddy, and it's just okay.
Yeah, let me just put him. We'll just make him go to a casino for the whole movie. Yeah, and not even complete his mission.
Yeah, and we touched on that last week with it just seemed that Rian wasn't all that interested in telling the Resistance side of the story and was solely focused on the Skywalker side of it. And I said that last week. Everything to do with the Skywalkers in The Last Jedi, I absolutely love. I have problems with the Resistance side of the story.
Yeah.
So I'll defend the Resistance part now. I don't like the horse riding or whatever they're called, but I do like that. And literally all these Star Wars movies, that's the point, is they come up with these balls to the wall, crazy 1 in a million chance missions. Yeah. And they always work. And for once, it didn't work. They didn't find the code breaker. They didn't get the shield down. They didn't do what they were supposed to do, and it blew up in their face. And I liked that. Now, could have been executed a little better. I don't like. I have no problem with killing Marie Tran. I'm not going to jump on that terrible, awful. People should be banned from the internet bandwagon. Yeah. But I didn't really like Rose as a character that much. Same. Like, especially when they were about to get captured, she's like, "No, we succeed." I'm like, "No, like the resistance is gonna die. They're running out of gas, Rose. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, that was one of my least favorite moments too.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you're Rose, you're cool and everything, but no.
But bringing it back to Finn, the whole force sensitive thing is like, I was completely convinced up until they started releasing a couple of different things leading up to the movie. It was like, maybe Finn isn't the one supposed to be force sensitive, maybe it's Rey. And then when the movie does happen and that whole interrogation scene happens, like, yep, there's confirmation. She's our force user in this movie. I would have liked to see Finn use the force in some capacity.
Too.
Just
like move something. Just give me
not even moving something. Just have him like be like.
Are you talking about in the Force Awakens?
In the Force Awakens, maybe
okay.
he has faster reaction time than other people do. Like because like in Phantom Menace, Anakin he appears to have quick reflexes.
He's a Mary Sue.
Yeah, because he can see things before they happen. I would like to see something like that with Finn, because by the time we get to Rise of Skywalker, he's absolutely force sensitive. He can sense people. He can sense feelings and all that. So
I love that people were saying like, "Oh, well, Luke's not a Mary Sue because he used to pilot a T-16 in Bullseye Womp Rats." I'm like, I'm sorry, I can drive on the 101. That doesn't mean I can do NASCAR. Like, get out of here with that. Like,
exactly.
The dude is literally casually piloting, like, in some canyons. This is the Death Star, the biggest battle station with 20 guns down a trench. Thank you, Ace Cabrera. And let alone TIE fighters on your butt. I'm trying not to cuss. I don't know if this cussing
You already
or not.
dropped one, but that's fine.
But yeah, just it's so ridiculous. Just like the arguments they just pulling out of thin air just to like, no, like. But yeah, I think the only clue I had before about Finn or Rey was that I'm looking at the poster right now in my room. His lightsaber and her staff are like
they're parallel.
They're like connected to each other. So I was like, is that a hint?
Oh, it was totally a hint, because that's their story throughout the trilogy, is like their stories are parallel. But yeah, so we touched on Finn. We got to touch the three main heroes of this movie. Even though Poe doesn't have a whole lot to do, he ends up being one of the main three in this trilogy. But Poe, I know you have problems with Poe when he first talks to Kylo Ren, and who talks first, you talk first. I actually really like that line.
That's what I don't get. Go ahead, Nikki.
I don't know which side you fall on, Ben. But to me, that whole "you talk first, I talk first," it was a little forced for me. And it was kind of
forced. I see what you did. That was a good joke. That was good. Forced.
I didn't even mean it that way.
That's like the fifth time you've done that too.
But it's true though. It felt a little bit.
It was a little on the dark side for me. I don't know.
But it
was a little like the joke was a little jarring. I don't know. All right,
let's keep this going. Let's keep this going.
We can do this all night long. Let's do it.
I don't know. Like, I thought he was a big ray of sunshine in the movie.
Man, this guy with the puns, my God, so good. Let's just keep on watching Ben.
Stay on target, people. Stay on target.
Get it. Stay on target. Wow, good job.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like you're saying, stay on. I look like I'm like turning to you, like even though you're on my screen right now. Yeah, you right there.
Can you guys let me finish my thought?
Oh.
So finish your thought, please.
I did it. I made a pun. But yeah, no, it felt a little forced. It felt kind of. That's one of the things that I talked about on one of the past whatevers. Is one of my least favorite things in action movies is like quippy little snappy lines in the middle of a tense moment, and it just like cheapens the moment for me. In that moment, you literally just saw a guy stop a bolt in the air. They're about to massacre this village, and you're like, you talk first, I talk first. Your mask is apparatus. Like it was like really in that moment.
I missed Nikki's dumb voice. It's my favorite thing ever. It really is. Oh my gosh. I want I know she's used it in like hardcore arguments you guys have had. Like, how does that feel, Andrew? I really have to ask you that question. Like, when you guys have had like your big fights, like in college or something, and she goes, "Oh, don't know. Do I want to Star Wars again?" And you're just like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna marry this woman."
Yeah.
I don't know when that voice came
it was
into
your,
being.
it's your troll voice. That's what
I don't
it
know
is.
when that formulated.
I love it. It's my favorite thing.
It is my default stupid dumb voice though.
Yeah.
But
yeah, in that moment it was just kind of like, really? You know, that's really like that's what you're going to say in the moment.
I like it cuz
but he is known for being, you know,
very
he's got smart remarks, he's got, you know,
he's
sarcasm.
a wise, you know what? I don't want to, you know,
a wiseacre.
Yeah, thank you. That's a family friendly way of saying it. But yeah, I think looking at Poe, I think like yeah, he's the best Resistance pilot, and like he's the best pilot in the Resistance, and you clearly see that in the battle above Takodana. The
one shot is so good.
So good. It's like, oh, how good can this guy be? We'll show you exactly how good this guy can be. It's like, oh my god, wow, really? He's like, there's the TIE fighter, there's a TIE fighter, there's a TIE fighter, there's a TIE fighter. And I think Alex Damon did a really funny Overwatch meme with that.
Oh, yeah. That was Alex?
That was Alex that did that. And I was like, oh, that was a good job, Alex. That was really cool.
And I just thought it was cute how he's like zipping through the air, shooting like 50 bazillion people out of the air, and Finn's like, woo, that's one hell of a pilot. It's like, that's your boyfriend, okay?
Yeah.
Like, do you even realize?
That's Boo.
That's Boo right there.
That's Bae. No, and that's the thing is that like you get just like one. I'm such a fan of you talk first, I talk first. Like I love it. That's so Han Solo for me. That like it literally harkens back to that, and that's why when people have a problem with is General Hugs on the line? I've got his mom. I thought that was like the same. Like I don't know why people love that one and then hate The Last Jedi. Is because it like they're like, oh, well, I don't like Marvel jokes. I it didn't fit. I was like, well, it's kind of the same exact thing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, humor's the most subjective thing on the planet, so I get why you wouldn't laugh if you don't like it. But I just thought it was he literally starts Force Awakens that way, so why wouldn't he start Last Jedi that way? I don't know. Yeah. It just seemed very similar to me.
Yeah.
It was very similar.
But yeah, I wish we got more dogfighting Poe, like we got that. On Takodana, we got the one take. We got, the beginning of Last Jedi where he's like pulling the brakes out and taking on the dreadnought on 1v1, bro.
Yeah.
But then like we didn't really get anything after that in Last Jedi. We got nothing in Rise of Skywalker. We got the light speed skipping a little bit. That was a cool opening sequence, but it doesn't really show me much of like his piloting skills. Like you want to see, especially now, like. It's sad that the dogfighting in the original trilogy is better than the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Like that is one thing that I really did like about Rogue One is the dogfighting. The space battle in Rogue One is great. I hated everything on the ground because it made absolutely no sense. But like it's sad that like we still haven't gotten a good dogfighting scene outside of the one take on Takodana.
Yeah.
Especially like Rise of Skywalker. Like, oh, we got 1 billion ships. We're not gonna show them though. Just trust that it's going well.
We're fine up here, guys.
Don't worry about us. But yeah, so yeah, well, just like sort of looking at these three characters of like people are like, oh yeah, Poe is totally the Han, Finn is totally this person, Rey is totally this person. I kind of argue that they pull from different people. Like you can see bits of Leia and Luke in Rey, or you can see bits of Han in this person, but you can also see bits of Luke and Poe and in Finn. And I like to see it's not just like, oh, this is your Luke Skywalker trilogy, this is your Han Solo, this is your Chewbacca or whatever, whoever you want to compare Finn to. They're basically characteristics of all of the people that we love, and you can pick and choose who you side with. So I think that's something great, and that's why I always gravitate towards this, is because I so quickly grabbed onto these characters. And I've told you that when you have great characters that pull me in immediately, I'm completely on board with the project. And that's why I really like Rebels slightly better than Clone Wars, because I got attached to them so quickly. And that ragtag bunch, by the end of that, I was like, have you finished Rebels yet? I don't want to spoil.
No, don't spoil anything else. I have like 2 episodes left.
Okay, yeah, but like,
bless
may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Yeah, but anything else about these characters you want to touch on?
Just the fact that I really thought it was really good screenwriting, and that
Yeah.
how Poe, like, he's not afraid of Kylo. Like, he's not.
Yeah.
Like, Kylo's like, obviously, like, Force grabs him and, like, just like, oh, I'm interrogating you. But he's not afraid of him. And I love the scene where he's been tortured already for hours, it seems like, because he's pretty beat up. And then Kylo, like, Force reads his mind, or, whatever that is. I love the sound editing, the sound design for the Force. It's so good.
So good.
But then, and like, even as strong and as strong-willed of a person as Poe is, like, he's susceptible to it. And then the scene you were talking about, Nikki, of like Rey being able to resist that.
Oh yeah.
That's such good filmmaking of being like, hey, this guy who doesn't give a crap who Kylo Ren is, isn't afraid of him, is cracking jokes in his face, is still susceptible to this interrogation. But this is how powerful Rey is. This is how good she is.
Yeah.
Is that she's not.
Yeah.
I never thought
Let's go ahead and jump into that scene, because that's
that parallel.
Yeah, because this is your favorite scene in the entire movie.
I never thought of it that way. That makes me appreciate the who talks first thing a bit more. Good job, Ben. But yeah, no, I love that scene with Rey and Kylo with the interrogation. Not only for the "you're my guest" part, that was hilarious.
So good.
But I also
I cannot look at that shot I without cracking up anymore. It's like, there it is.
It's ridiculous. He's
You're
just
my guest.
creeping in a corner. It's ridiculous, but great at the same time. But yeah, no, I love when it gets to the part with where she starts to kind of key into him. You think that he's starting to get to her with, I see the island and all that stuff. And then that sound editing that you were talking about. Oh, mwah, it's just so good. It's like this low, like he has his hand out. And you see her trying her best to resist it and whatever, but then you hear that like
warp,
like it's like a growl almost, and then it just kind of starts pulsing, and you're like, oh no, what's happening here? And then just the fact that she is able to say that little thing to him, and he's just like shook.
Yeah. He's so shook.
So shook. Like, she spilled that tea, sis. Is that what they say?
Oh, sorry guys.
Gotta go.
Going Rogue's been canceled. Okay, boomer.
That's what kids say. I've been looking at TikTok, and they all say the same memes all the time.
You have to do the dances though.
Oh my god, I can't with those dances. Oh my god. We should have a podcast where I just rant about TikTok and how much I hate it and love it at the same time.
We get to 50 patrons, we'll start that. But
there we go. But yeah, no, I love that scene. And I never thought of it that way. How you can see, Poe and how strong-willed he was. He's still cracked, and then all of a sudden, here's this little girl, basically this tiny wispy little girl, and like, dang, okay, wow, she's looks can be deceiving.
Yeah.
You think that she's this dainty little, wow, look at how petite she is, but she gonna F you up.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
So that's,
go ahead.
Yeah, so that's your favorite like moment and scene in the movie. What's your Ben? What's yours? Like scene. We'll say scene.
Scene
or moment.
So tough.
Yeah, scene or moment. Because I have mine.
It might be the forest fight. I don't know if it's Kylo versus Finn, because that traitor, Adam Driver is just,
he's so good.
Oh
in these movies.
Man, he makes me question things.
Love it.
That's
but
Henry,
yeah, like
that's Henry Cavill for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fair. That's very
Him
fair.
too, right? Am I right?
But yeah, just like that forest scene, just the setting, the snow. I love that the steam coming off every time like a snowflake hits the lights. Like that detail is so good. And then just like the wispy trees, like getting cut down as they're fighting. But it really is that moment of when Rey is just fighting because Rey's a good fighter, and that's why I love all the moments of like Finn's like, oh, she's about to get jumped, let me go help her, and she's like kicking the crap out of those guys, and then the whole time they're running, she's like, stop holding my hand, I'm faster than you. But then it's that moment where she's like holding him at bay, and he's like, I can train you, and then she like truly becomes one with the Force.
Yes.
And she doesn't know what it is, but she's just had this feeling within her, and she finally connects to it. And then like she doesn't like beat the crap out of him, but she's with it now, and she is centered. And that's why she's beating him. It's because she is centered in this moment, and he's so out of balance. And I love it. and that moment sings to me, and the score that comes in when it goes like Saving Private Ryan, everything drops out, and the score just like rises up, and you're like, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, and mine happens in that saber fight. It's like, you know, Finn gets taken out, Ren tries to grab the lightsaber out of the snow, and he can't, and it flies past him, and bam, Rey catches it. Probably one of my favorite moments in all of Star Wars, because, you know, that the music swells and it's just like, oh.
And the look of like uncertainty. She's like, really committed to this, didn't I?
That's the thing, is that she doesn't know what she did.
Yeah.
It's pure instinct. Oh, it's so good. Go ahead, Peter, sorry.
And that what Ben said, that's probably second place, if not tied, for my favorite moment, was when she just like, you know, blinks the Force, you know, and that moment that she taps into it, it's fantastic. Also, Ben, can I point out to you that when they're fighting in the forest, when Rey does her little, you know, yells and shrieks while does she not sound like Link from like whatever
from like Zelda,
from Legends of Zelda?
I think she does.
I need to. I'll rewatch that.
Rewatch it. Send me a message and tell me when you know I'm right.
I think she does.
She does.
She totally does.
Dude, like both Daisy Ridley, like, you know, we heard her yells in this one, and then her, like, you know, I wasn't here for Last Jedi, so I just got to talk a little bit about it. I love that in Last Jedi, like, the duality of their characters is that Rey is the one passionately screaming at the Praetorian Guards. One of the coolest, best character designs in the history of Star Wars, Praetorian Guards. I'll just say that. And then, you know, like, Kylo Ren is, like, you know, cool, calm, and collected. Like, he's one. And that's what I love, is that the difference here is that he's out of control and wild when he kills his father, but he's so laser focused and in control when he kills Snoke. And that's good. It's good Star Wars, people.
It is good.
Yeah, let's continue on this track of the lightsaber battle, because I know, like, I favor this one over a couple other ones, but like I really like how, like, people are like, oh, how does, or not, I don't like, I just don't get how people are like, how does Ren get beat up by these people?
Oh my God,
it's like,
come on.
Seriously, did you not watch the movie?
Exactly. Like Ben said, he was already so affected by what he just did.
And another thing about this movie that I love is setup and payoff.
Yeah.
Ben touched on it with the setup with Poe being interrogated, and then that sets up the fact that Rey is able to do it so easily and resist him, and that shows how powerful she is. The running gag with Chewie and his bowcaster and how powerful he is a setup to when he gets shot, when Ren gets shot by the bowcaster. That show you how weak he is now, because you saw it blow people out of the sky on Takodana.
Like, literally, Han shoots one guy with his pistol, puts it away. He's like, "Hey, can I use that?" Shoots him with the bowcaster, and the stormtrooper like flies 15 feet.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren just took a shot to the gut by that same weapon.
And then punches it.
Yes.
Dude's already in some bad shape, physically and emotionally.
Complaining about that. I'm going to take let's say, I'll take, a gun, and I'm going to shoot you in the gut. And then you're gonna punch it.
Yep.
Really? Then I'm gonna punch you a few times in that bullet wound. Yep. And I'm gonna see how well you sword fight.
Yeah. Now fight off two people in a snowy forest.
Yes. And people are like, "Oh, how is he able to lose?" It's like, watch the fight again. He is a complete. Even though he gets injured like twice by the time he gets to Rey, he's still in complete control of that fight.
He's toying with Finn. Like
he's
Ben
toying
was
with
saying.
Finn, and then when he starts to fight Rey, she's the one retreating. She's the one that's
shooting the entire time.
Yeah, he's in complete control. The only time he's not in control is when Rey becomes one with the Force.
Yeah.
And she allows the Force to take control, and that's when she's able to overtake him. And I love the shot, just visually, of her burying his lightsaber in the snow, and her lightsaber's up. Like, this is light conquering evil. This is the light side conquering the dark side.
Like,
I love that shot so much.
Like a poet over here.
It's so good. But, like, yeah, look at that fight. It's like he's in complete control the entire time. So it's like, yeah, if Rey didn't tap into the Force, he probably would have won that fight. Because she was on the ropes at that point.
She was running away the whole
literally
time.
on the edge of a cliff, about to die.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really like this. I like the choreography. The editing of it is a little. The more I look at it, it is a little jarring sometimes, because geography-wise, it's like they shouldn't be there. They should be over here. But regardless of that, I do love this lightsaber fight. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So.
No, I think you pretty much hit
Pretty
all
much
the
hit.
bases. That was...
and that's what was missing from, like, everyone always points to Volcano Planet. I can't think of it.
Mustafar.
What?
Mustafar.
Mustafar. That's not going to be an answer.
Do you
Andrew.
want me to?
You're good.
Do you want me to
You're
spell
good.
it? Do you want me to spell it?
Spell it.
I can
Yeah.
spell it. You want me to spell it?
You definitely said Mustafar.
I'm pretty sure Harloff doesn't listen to this show, so.
Yeah.
So we can take jabs.
But no, everyone loves the Mustafar fight, and I do love the beginning of it and parts of it and like the end of it and stuff.
Yeah.
But just like they never get tired. It's so choreographed.
It's
like there's a little bit of motion here and there, but these are two brothers that have been raised together, and one trying to teach the other. There should be just like the score sets the stage, but like the faces, like that whole series is like very lacking of emotion. And it's like the Return of the Jedi fight is like pure emotion.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I like that New Hope thing that people did with Obi-Wan and Vader, but that's not what the fight was about. It wasn't about cool choreography and the light. It was about like evil really taking control in that moment, and what you're gonna do when you lose someone like that, and Obi-Wan knowing, regardless of how long this fight goes on, I'm gonna lose, so I'll lose the way I want to, and I'll do something Vader has no idea about. It's that same thing, I just reread Harry Potter. It's like, Voldemort knew all this magic but didn't really understand the magic. He just learned it, and that's how Vader was. So I love the emotion behind this fight. I get the editing and stuff like that. It is like a little jarring because they're shooting around the stunt actors and stuff like that. But yeah, like this is in maybe my top 2 of lightsaber fights, honestly, with like everything behind it.
I think it's in like my top 4. I gotta go back and look at my my ranking video. But I really like how you can feel every hit in this one. You can see them going for the swings. With your example of the Mustafar fight, it feels a lot of like just like, I compared it a lot of flash and a lot of whatever that little rave thing they did in between.
All sizzle and no steak.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I kind of equated it to like listening to a song. Like with the Duel of the Fates thing, there's variety. There's pause. There's hesitation. With the Rey Kylo Ren fight and Ben, there's like. There's hesitation, there's ups and falls and ebbs and flows. With the Mustafar fight, it's just like constant bum 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 bum. It's like, okay, take a breath.
Flip onto this platform.
Give me a break sometimes, because it's like, and that's what I really like about this fight with on Starkiller Base is just you feel each swing, feel each strike. It's
like a bar. It's like you could tell how much choreography went into the Mustafar fight, which I appreciate. I love good choreography, but this felt like a bar fight. Like everyone is just like on their last. Like, do you know what all these characters have gone through this entire movie? Like, Rey's been nonstop since we met her.
Yeah.
Like, and so. Yeah, they're tired. One's got a hole in his stomach.
I do want to add too, like when you look at Kylo Ren's movements, there's a couple of twirls in there. There's a couple of like, you know what I mean? He's the only one really twirling his saber because he's
peacocking right there.
And he's also the only one in this this group that was fighting that was really trained with a lightsaber. Formally trained with a lightsaber. Finn has some training in like melee combat weapons. Rey is familiar with the staff, but really the one person that's fully trained with a lightsaber is Kylo Ren, and you can totally see
Finn
it.
Gets his ass kicked by Traitor, like with the vibro axe, or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I really don't get the pushback against you got beat by a girl with no training. It's like he didn't. Like I'm sorry, like Kylo Ren, like even without the laser bolt would have won the fight, but he was just like. It's okay.
We could go on and on.
Get off my lawn.
These kids and their TikToks.
So any other points that you guys want to hit before we wrap it up here, because we try to keep going Rogue shorter, but we have Ben Goddard on, so I knew we were gonna go longer.
Just the acting behind it, because you heard the stories of like Daisy Ridley. This is like obviously her first big part, and she almost like. Not got fired, but JJ was like, JJ, like you said, Nikki, how much pressure was on there? Like, and you say it's only been 10 years since Revenge of the Sith, but even the most diehard prequel fans maybe weren't satisfied with those movies. So for most people, it's been over 30 years since a new like satisfactory Star Wars came out, let alone, the Clone Wars and stuff.
Mhm.
So, and again, you saw the pushback, the Pershberg. You saw the Pershberg about the Lurshjutter. You saw the pushback on The Last Jedi. So it's like he has to play this balancing act of, okay, I got to bring in new fans. I got to satisfy old fans. There's the canon. There's George Lucas, what he wanted to do. We got to talk about Skywalkers and Solos, but can't mention the Empire. We got to do that. It's like, it's like, Charlie Day at his like conspiracy board.
Exactly.
He's got to put all these things together.
Exactly.
And so I thought this movie sang so well, and just like it's lightning fast. I wish there was a different design for the Rathtars.
I didn't mind the Rathdar scene as much.
Big old meatballs with
yeah, I didn't mind the
tentacles.
Rathdar. What I got out of that scene was like, all right, this is what Han's been up to for the past 30 years. Just
smuggling.
Let's talk about Harrison Ford real quick before we go.
Yeah,
how good he is in this movie, because
he's fantastic.
He was sleepwalking for the last 5 years of his career, making conspiracy political thrillers and whatever else. But man, like you're talking about Rey and Finn's chemistry. How good is Finn and Han Solo together? Big deal.
Fantastic.
Like they always know, like everything with them is just, he's so great. And yes, you can see his death coming a mile away, but when he yells Ben, that's when he's gonna die. Literally, he's like, he makes a decision, and he has learned from his ways of like not running away from things, trusting in the Force, even though he might not truly like understand it. He believes in it, and he knew the sacrifice he needed to make. And it was just so good. And that was literally the one part I liked in Rise of Skywalker, was him coming back and like talking to Kylo Ren.
That's my favorite scene in the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, my favorite scene in the Rise of Skywalker. But as far like while we're on Han Solo, like just having him come back, and like the last time we saw him in the original trilogy, he's like, oh, the Force. What is the Force?
Bunch of mumbo jumbo.
But to have him come around, like, yep, it's all true.
Yeah.
Having that character confirm with with our new characters, like everything you heard about it is true. It speaks volumes about what he's gone through the past 30 years, and where he is at now, and like why is like, and I never thought I would want to see Leia and Han be separated. It's like, what happened? Shouldn't they be married? And like they obviously had a son. What happened? So and as far, and I do think having Leia in there, I would want to see a bit more of her, but she does get to a lot more in The Last Jedi and in Rise of Skywalker. So
I love Harrison Ford in this role, and I do love that we saw a little bit like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where yes, they came together in Guardians of the Galaxy, so where do we take our characters from here? Okay, they're gonna argue all over again, so we're back. And so it would have been really easy to be like, oh, I used to believe in the Force, but I don't know if it's true anymore. But no, like once he sees what this is, like, yep, it's true. Yep. And I can't, I can run from my duties, from my responsibilities, from my destiny, but it's going to find me. Yep. And that's why I felt like he was like, it's true, all of it. Because otherwise he would have not ended up on the same ship as Rey and Finn and the Resistance. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I also love that moment. Talk about his whatever chemistry with Finn. He had a little bit of chemistry with Rey, because I love that moment when he's like offering her a job, and he's like, wouldn't be nice to you.
Oh, it's so good.
So cute.
It doesn't pay much.
Yeah.
He's like offering her a job. She shows a hint of interest. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. I wouldn't be nice to you.
That's such a good point, Nikki. That's such a great line, because like that's such a Harrison Ford thing. Like he is like a grumpy old man, and so it's just like it's such a perfect like. Well, it wouldn't be nice to you.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's every like. Oh man, just like. Yeah. I just want to watch it again.
And
it's
so much
great.
Like stuff that you do want backstories. I'd love to know not Harrison Ford. Han Solo's, what have you gone through with Maz Kanata that you guys have all this history, and why she got a little crush on Chewie? What have they been through? There's just so much potential for backstories too.
Can we talk about Hux and Snoke? Like, I do like it does suck what they did with Hux, because I love Donald Gleason, and he was setting up to be the next Tarkin, because you need that. You need like the mysticism of the Force, but you need like the cold calculation of like we're gonna do A, B, and C is gonna be the destruction of your planet. But I do love Hux in this movie, and I love the tease of Snoke. I love like bring Ren to me. We'll finish his training. I love all that, and I really do love what they did in Last Jedi with Snoke. I thought it was perfect. Honestly, like
he was good.
I was surprised at first, but then I was like, okay, I guess this is where we're going.
Well, because in The Force Awakens wasn't everybody like, oh, maybe Plagueis.
Yeah,
oh
Plagueis. Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of cool how he was just this like big gigantic hologram that you're like, what is happening? Who is this?
Yeah, did you guys know? I do want to ask. Did you guys know he was a hologram when you first saw him, or did you think he was like a giant?
At first, I was like,
I thought he was a giant.
I thought he was a giant, but then the hologram one was, oh, okay, so he's not really that big. So
yeah,
because I remember hearing up to it's like, yeah, the Supreme Leader Snoke is larger than average person, but it's like they never confirm how big he is. But then when he comes on screen, it's like, okay, I guess our bad guy's gigantic. Yeah. Oh no, he's a hologram. So, but I do like Hux. I think
I love Hux.
I love Hux. I don't because he, again, canon junkie. You read the other canons, like he was raised in the First Order, so he's basically brainwashed. It's like, oh yeah, he has that attitude.
Good.
Good. Yes.
I'm the spy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, because like I love it when they say to use the vengeful cannon. He's like fire. And like, you know what I mean? It's like send a squad down to retrieve it or whatever the line is. Like his delivery is so perfect, and the further you dive into the character of Hux, it's
that speech.
His speech is chilling, and the fact that like there's a lot of like not obviously like Nazi symbolism and stuff like that. And so just like I love he's like in the last day of the Republic, and usually you're expecting cheers, and it's just dead silent, and they all basically give like the Nazi salute.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, it was such a good moment.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
And that's the delivery of that speech was so good.
Yeah, people just don't I don't get people sometimes like, oh, Hux, he's so cartoonish. He's so
I love Hux.
That's Hux. That's what he is. He was raised on this. He was raised to be this like not neo-Nazi type of person. Like, oh, what we're doing is right for the galaxy. So
and it's like rivaling the sibling like rivalry almost that he has with Kylo Ren.
Oh yeah, I love that too. Like when he comes in, he tattles on Ren. He's like, oh, he thought the droid was no longer valuable to us, and Ren's like, darn, he told on me. Darn.
Yeah, it's so because reading I have Thrawn Legacies or whatever allies or alliance like that's literally Thrawn and Vader. Like that's what they're doing is like Thrawn is the cold, calculating, strategic, and Vader is like he's like no, like I'm number two. Like what are you doing? Like I don't trust you. Like and so everyone is so afraid to lose their spot in this like crazy tyranny that they'll do anything. And yeah, I do love like you said the sibling rivalry is like, well, Ren said we only needed the girl. Like, oh, go right in your burn book there real quick.
Got him.
Yes, anything
Ren
else?
It's a fugly slut.
I love. Oh no, I want to see like a Hux written burn book.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
I kind of want to make one. A Star Wars burn book.
So, before we wrap it up, like any other thoughts? Like going back and rewatching these movies. Yeah, have you loved it less? Do you love it even more? Do you have like have there things been popping up like, oh, maybe that wasn't as good as the first time?
I feel like now after listening to you guys say certain things that I had never thought of before, I feel like the next time I watch, I'll be like, oh, dang, wow, didn't read that deep into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'll appreciate it even more next time.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like the more I watch this movie, the more I'm like, this might be my favorite, just because of like the emotion behind it, and like just like the meaning, and how like it's really good filmmaking. And I wish that the movie would have ended with Rey and Chewie flying off into space, Ryan didn't have to immediately like you can't go anywhere besides her handing the lightsaber to Luke. Like you can't go anywhere, and it's not a huge complaint. But it is like a hard like starting off point of like, all right, if you're not gonna have a full plan for this movie, you can't like pigeonhole the next writer and director and like, well, here's exactly where you have to start.
Yeah.
But no, I love this movie truly, and I watch it all the time. It's great.
Oh yeah, and for me, it's like it's a no-brainer anytime. So if I was gonna watch like, hey, you're gonna watch this, you're gonna watch the sequel trilogy, here, or you can watch one movie out of the sequel trilogy. Which one are you watching? The Force Awakens. It's 100% The Force Awakens. I've loved this movie the first time I saw it. I love it even more now that I've watched it 50 million times over. But yeah, like I don't think people will say what they want about it. Like, oh, it's a repeat of A New Hope. They can say they don't like Kylo Ren. They don't like this. They don't like Starkiller Base. I don't care.
Whatever.
Well, you know what? When they do something different, they don't like that either. So shut up.
Exactly.
So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. Thank you so much, Ben, for joining us. As always, we'll probably have you on Beyond sometime soon.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you know when you're?
Better.
Yeah. When do you know when
I
you're...
think my Parker match is next week. I don't know if I'm the Patreon match or the Friday match. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll try to...
I don't remember.
We'll try to get you on for that.
Heck yeah.
But, yeah, but where can they find you online, Ben?
I've been doing twitch.tv/the Ben Goddard. All socials at the Ben Goddard. I just put out a new $30 tier on my Patreon. Ooh. It's got great goodies, so go check that out, guys. I'm really putting a lot of work in there because bars are opening back up, but you know what? Seems like Corona is opening back up too, so I really don't want to go back to work. So I'm trying to make this my full-time gig. So I've got a $2 tier, 5, 10, 5, 15, and 30. So there's room for everything for y'all. So thank you guys so much for having me. I love talking Star Wars and throwing down with you guys. It's always so much fun.
That's awesome. Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
Twitter. I say things on Twitter with my name's Dimmy, DIMMMYYY.
As for me, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch. Not so much anymore. I'll probably be getting back into Twitch soon.
At some point.
But at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. It helps us out tremendously. If you're on audio form, go and rate us. God, I'm blanking on what we need to plug now. What do I need to plug? The Patreon. Patreon.com/Andrew and Nikki. God, I don't have the $10 tier in front of me. I'm sorry, guys, because I know I'm supposed to shout you guys out, but you'll be in end card, so I'm sorry about that. I gotta print everything out, so sorry about that. But because we just adjusted the tiers, so I don't know exactly who's in what tier. I know Ferris Mathana is in the captain tier. I think Eston is in there as well. But I'll be up to date for Beyond, and we'll get those rolling. But thank you so much for our Patreon supporters. Again, patreon.com/Andrew and Nikki. Anything else that I'm missing? My brain is all fried from studying.
I don't think so.
So
I get back to work.
Yeah, I gotta get back to the grind. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on this episode of Going Rogue. See you next time. May the Force be with you, always.